In the midst of a sea of releases that often feel repetitive and empty, created only for profit, finding games that truly stand out can be a tough task. With that in mind, today I'm going to show you 20 games that break the mold. These games are not just more of the same. Each one brings unique elements that make them shine in the crowd. If you're tired of the same formulas and are looking for something truly innovative, get ready to discover gems that will redefine your gameplay. This is Jack speaking, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel. I bring you daily content so you don't miss a single detail of the gaming universe. And if you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd be really happy. From one gamer to another. Kicking off our list is Saints Row the Third, the kind of game that embraces chaos and doesn't apologize for it. From the first mission, it's clear that you're about to embark on a chaotic journey, full of unbridled action and over-the-top humor. Here, reality takes a back seat to make room for explosions, car chases, and absurdly exaggerated confrontations. Playing this game is like stepping into an amusement park where the rules have been thrown out the window, and the only thing that matters is having fun. It's one of those games you need to play if you're looking for something out of the ordinary. What makes this experience truly special is the freedom it offers. The city is a playground where you can do pretty much anything, from customizing your character in ridiculously detailed ways to driving tanks through the streets like it's no big deal. This combination of sandbox gameplay with a narrative full of sarcasm makes every mission unpredictable. And while it has its comedic side, don't be fooled. The game knows how to challenge the player, especially in the more intense battles. In the end, it feels like watching an insane action movie, where you're not just sitting on the couch but controlling every move. Even if you've tried other games in the genre, it'll be hard to find one as bold and creative as this. It's this originality that makes it stand out, making it one of the best options for those looking for something comedic in the gaming world. In second place, we have Disco Elysium, a game that makes you question what really matters in a video game experience. Forget epic battles and frantic action sequences. Here, the focus is on deep storytelling and the exploration of a tormented mind. Right off the bat, you're placed in the role of an amnesiac detective, and every decision you make shapes not only the story but also the character. The way the game handles complex themes like politics, morality, and identity puts it in a unique category among the games you need to play. What really sets this journey apart is the dialogue mechanics and freedom of choice. Conversations aren't just there to advance the plot, but to explore the depths of the protagonist's psyche and the people around him. It's not a game that gives you easy answers, but one that forces you to reflect on the consequences of your actions. At every step, you find yourself caught up in moral dilemmas and decisions that can change the course of the story in unexpected ways. If you're looking for something that breaks the mold, this is a masterpiece that challenges the conventions of traditional video games. Continuing, we have Metal Gear Rising, one of those games that takes frenetic action and cranks it up to a new level. From the moment you take control, you know it's going to be a roller coaster of intense combat and incredibly fluid moves. This is a game that takes everything you love about a good hack and slash and mixes it with a heavy dose of strategy and precision. Every battle feels like you're choreographing a dance of blades and explosions. If you're into games where skill is truly rewarded, this is one you should play. The highlight here is the cutting mechanic, which allows you to slice enemies and objects with surgical precision. This feature brings a level of interaction that few games can match. Instead of just button mashing, you need to think about how to attack, where to cut, and how to defend. This level of control turns each encounter into a strategic puzzle, where even the smallest mistake can be the difference between victory and defeat. And of course, all this action is accompanied by a pulsating soundtrack that immerses you even more in the experience. The frenetic pace, combined with an engaging and twist-filled narrative, makes every moment memorable. Even when you're not in combat, the game keeps you on the edge of your seat, whether through cinematic cutscenes or intriguing dialogue. If you're looking for a challenge that also offers a great story, it's hard to find anything that compares to this title in the gaming world. In fourth place, we have one of my favorite games, Shadow of the Colossus. This is the kind of game that redefines what open world means. Forget about hundreds of missions, thousands of NPCs, and countless quests and possibilities. Here, What truly shines is the exploration of vastness and the impact of the solitude of a warrior willing to do anything to save his beloved. From the moment you step into this vast, desolate world, there's a sense of grandeur that few games can convey. Each Colossus you face is a work of art in itself, with combat mechanics that require both skill and strategy. This is one of those games you must play if you seek an experience that combines exploration and epic battles in an almost poetic way. The feeling of climbing these gigantic creatures, trying to find the weak spot while holding on for dear life to avoid being thrown off, is something unique. Each battle is a puzzle where brute force isn't enough. You need to observe, plan, and act at the right moment. The game's minimalist design, without minor enemies or unnecessary distractions, puts all the emphasis on these monumental fights, making every victory even more rewarding. This journey is an emotional experience. The silence between confrontations, the vastness of the landscape, and the melancholic soundtrack create an atmosphere that stays with you long after the game ends. For those seeking something that goes beyond mere entertainment, offering a reflection on sacrifice and despair, this is one of the best games ever made. In fifth place, we have Pacific Drive, a game that blends the familiar with the unexpected in a way you don't come across every day. Imagine being trapped in a mysterious, ever-changing region, with your only companion being a car that you need to keep running at all costs. That's the premise of one of the most intriguing games you should play, where the road is never the same and danger lurks around every corner. It's an experience that mixes survival and exploration with a dash of horror that keeps the tension high. The standout feature here is how the game turns driving into an experience full of suspense and strategy. You're not just driving, you're fighting to survive in a hostile and unpredictable environment. With each new journey, you need to repair and upgrade your car, choose which routes to take, and avoid or face paranormal phenomena that can appear at any moment. It's a constant feeling of being in a horror movie where your vehicle is both your greatest weapon and your only protection. Beyond the constant tension, the game makes you think about every decision you make. Is it worth exploring that unknown detour, or is it better to stick to the main route, even if it seems dangerous? These kinds of choices make every playthrough unique, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty that is both terrifying and thrilling. A more recent game that made the soundtrack the soul of the gameplay is Hifi Rush, with a true explosion of colors, music, and action that brings a unique gameplay sensation. Here, rhythm synchronization isn't just a detail, it's the key to mastering the game. With every hit you land, every jump you make, you need to be in sync with the beat of the soundtrack, creating a unique experience where music and combat merge in a way that few games manage to do. If you love rhythm and are looking for something innovative, this is one of the best games you need to play. The charm of this game lies in how it combines elements of action games with the dynamism of rhythm games. Instead of just attacking enemies, you're dancing among them, using the rhythm of the music to guide your moves. This mechanic creates an incredibly satisfying gameplay flow, where every hit is rewarded not only for its effectiveness but also for the harmonious sound that echoes along. All of this happens in vibrant, personality-filled settings that change according to the music, making the immersion total. If you're looking for something that makes you feel the music in a completely new way, this title is the perfect choice. In seventh place, we have a controversial game. Many love it, while others hate it without even playing it. Stranding is an experience like no other, where every step you take carries an almost tangible weight. This is a game that defies conventions, focusing on a deeply symbolic narrative and gameplay centered on something as simple as delivering packages. However, what may seem monotonous at first glance transforms into an epic journey of human connection and survival in a devastated world. It's one of those games you need to play if you're looking for something that will make you reflect and become emotionally involved. The beauty of this game lies in how it turns the most basic task into a life or death mission. The vast, desolate landscape demands that you carefully plan each route, balance your load, and face the elements while dealing with supernatural threats. The tension of each delivery, combined with the mysterious encounters along the way, creates an atmosphere that keeps you immersed and always on edge. In addition to being visually stunning, with landscapes that look like paintings, the game features a soundtrack that perfectly complements the melancholic and introspective tone of the adventure. The experience is less about defeating enemies and more about persevering, finding solutions, and restoring a sense of community in a fragmented world. In 8th place, we have Subnautica, a true aquatic adventure that plunges you into a vast alien world full of mysteries. From the moment you emerge from the ocean depths, you realize you're in a place where every dive can reveal something new and unexpected. The game challenges you to survive in a hostile environment, exploring underwater caves, building submarine bases, and gathering vital resources to continue your journey. It's one of those games for anyone who loves exploration and the constant feeling of discovery. What really makes this experience stand out is the sense of isolation and the eerie beauty of the ocean. With each deeper dive, you encounter fantastic creatures and bioluminescent ecosystems that make exploration both fascinating and dangerous. The silence of the waters, interrupted only by the sound of your equipment and the marine life around you, creates an immersive atmosphere that makes you feel like you're really there. Subnautica isn't just a survival game. It's a total immersion experience in an unknown world that will leave you both fascinated and slightly apprehensive about what lurks in the water. Moving on to the next game, we have Journey, an experience that transcends the traditional concept of a video game, offering something closer to an interactive work of art. From the beginning, you're thrust into a vast, mysterious desert, with only a vague idea of where you're supposed to go. The game communicates through the landscape, music, and subtle interactions, creating a sense of exploration and discovery that is both personal and universal. It's the kind of game that touches more on the emotional than the competitive. Simplicity is what makes this journey so powerful. Without dialogues or explanatory texts, you rely entirely on your instincts and the environment to advance. Every movement, every glide across the sand dunes, is accompanied by a soundtrack that seems to pulse in sync with your heart. Interactions with other players, who appear anonymously during the game, create a unique and unexpected connection where cooperation occurs naturally without the need for words. It's an experience that goes beyond the screen, resonating with something deep inside each of us. As you progress, you realize the game is a metaphor for life, time, and the search for meaning. The journey itself, with its ups and downs, challenges, and moments of pure beauty, reflects our own struggles and triumphs. It's rare to find a game that can be so simple yet so impactful. If you haven't experienced it yet, this is a journey you won't want to miss, as it speaks directly to the heart of whoever plays. Portal couldn't be left out of this list. After all, it's a masterclass in game design disguised as an ingenious puzzle. From the first moment, you find yourself in a mysterious facility, armed only with a portal gun. And the only way out is to use your intelligence to solve a series of challenges that seem simple but quickly become complex. This is one of those games you need to play, not just for the innovation, but for the way it challenges your perception and logic, turning every puzzle into a rewarding victory. The game's big strength is the portal mechanic, which is used in such creative ways that it makes you rethink how space and movement work. With each new challenge, the complexity increases, forcing you to think outside the box and use physics to your advantage. The environment, seemingly cold and clinical, hides a narrative full of dry humor and unexpected twists that unfold as you progress. This combination of mental challenge and captivating narrative makes the experience extremely engaging. As you move forward, you start to realize there's something more going on behind the tests, creating a sense of suspense and curiosity that drives you to keep going. Now we have a truly bizarre game that I still don't understand how it became so successful, but it deserves a spot on this list precisely because of its craziness. Goat Simulator is a true satire of the gaming world and an invitation to absolute chaos. Unlike most games that challenge you to complete objectives or follow a narrative, here the goal is simply to cause as much destruction as possible and create the most absurd situations. You take control of a goat, but not just any goat. One that defies the laws of physics and can turn a peaceful town into a scene of pure madness with jumps, headbutts, and other hilarious acrobatics. This game offers a unique experience for anyone looking for something completely out of the ordinary. Humor is what truly defines this experience. The interactions between the goat and the environment are deliberately chaotic, generating unexpected and often hilarious moments. A simple headbutt can send a car flying, or start a chain reaction of insane events. The charm of the game lies in how it embraces absurdity without taking itself seriously. It's a title that undoubtedly provides uncomplicated and lighthearted fun, perfect for anyone who wants to break away from conventions and just laugh at the most unexpected situations a game can offer. In 12th place, we have a Souls-like game, and it might be hard to imagine something different in such an overexplored genre, but Another Crab's Treasure manages to bring innovation in a very simple way. Here, you don't control a legendary warrior or a ruthless samurai. Instead, you take control of a determined crab, exploring an underwater world full of dangers and hidden treasures. The aquatic environment where the game takes place is as beautiful as it is treacherous. Each new reef or cave can hide both allies and predators, and it's up to you to choose your battles wisely. The combat and exploration mechanics are designed to make the most of the three-dimensional environment, making movement and strategy crucial elements for success. In 13th place, we have Deathloop, one of those games that challenges your perception of time and strategy in gaming. Set on a mysterious island where time resets every day, you find yourself trapped in a cycle of deaths and resurrections. The mission? Break the cycle by eliminating 8 targets before the day restarts. With each new loop, you learn more about the environment, the enemies, and, most importantly, about yourself. It's a game that combines the intensity of action with the need for meticulous planning, resulting in an experience that grips the player from start to finish. What really makes this game stand out is how it blends action with puzzle solving. It's not just about shooting enemies, but figuring out the best time and way to do it. The repetition of loops, which could seem tedious, actually becomes a tool for mastering the game as you gather clues and refine your skills. The AI of the enemies, combined with the need to think creatively to survive, makes each cycle a new opportunity to learn and improve. Beyond the dynamic gameplay, the game also impresses with its unique visual style and a soundtrack that perfectly matches the frenetic pace of the action. The atmosphere of mystery and the constant feeling of being hunted add layers of tension that elevate the experience to another level. It's a game that demands both quick reflexes and a sharp mind, making each loop an intense and rewarding battle. Continuing our list, we have Outer Wilds, a space journey that challenges your curiosity and intelligence like few games can. You are launched into a miniature solar system, trapped in a 22-minute loop that ends in a supernova. The beauty of this game lies in how it rewards exploration and experimentation. Every planet you visit has its own quirks and dangers, and the game doesn't hold your hand. Instead, you're encouraged to discover things on your own, following subtle clues and connecting the pieces of a cosmic puzzle. This sense of discovery, of unraveling secrets that change your understanding of the game's universe, is what makes the experience so unique and rewarding. Beyond the exploration mechanics, the game stands out for its deep narrative and philosophical themes that touch on the nature of time, death, and what it means to exist in a vast and indifferent universe. Every new piece of knowledge you discover not only advances the game, but also deepens your connection to this complex story. It's a journey that challenges both the intellect and the emotions, making every minute spent in this loop worthwhile. In 15th place, we have Dredge, an experience that combines fishing and mystery in a world full of dark and hidden secrets. At first glance, it might seem like a simple fishing game, but you quickly realize that there's something deeper and more disturbing beneath the calm waters. Aboard your boat, you explore vast seas in search of rare creatures and valuable items, while uncovering macabre stories and strange events that slowly reveal themselves as you progress. It's one of those games you should play if you're looking for something that mixes relaxation with a dose of tension and mystery. The gameplay is an interesting mix of resource management, exploration, and suspense. While fishing, you need to keep an eye on the time and watch for signs of danger, as darkness brings out the more sinister aspects of the ocean. Every return to the port gives you the chance to upgrade your boat, sell your catches, and of course, hear rumors about what's really happening in these treacherous waters. The game's atmosphere is masterfully built, with sounds and visuals that gradually increase the feeling of unease. As you delve deeper into the story, the game reveals more about the world you inhabit and the creatures that dominate it. With each new discovery, the mystery deepens, making it impossible not to want to explore every corner of this fascinating environment. The game has a unique combination of relaxing gameplay and engaging narrative, creating an experience that keeps you hooked while also making you wary of what might be lurking in the depths. Another game that uses music in its narrative, but in a more hardcore way than Hifi Rush, is Brutal Legend. A true homage to the world of heavy metal, you're thrown into a universe where everything, from the mountains to the creatures, seems to have come straight out of a metal album cover. The game combines melee combat with real-time strategy battles, where you lead armies of headbangers and monsters while facing enemies in settings as grand as a guitar ballad. What truly shines here is the atmosphere. Every element of the game, from the soundtrack to the dialogue filled with references to the world of metal, was made to transport you to a world where rock is literally a force of nature. The protagonist, who is charismatic and irreverent, leads the story with sharp humor and a passion for music that is contagious, making the journey not only fun but also a celebration of the spirit of rock. In 17th place, we have Bulletstorm, a game that embraces chaos and creativity like few others. In a world where unbridled action is the order of the day, you are encouraged to be as creative as possible when eliminating your enemies. The key feature here is the skillshot system, which rewards you for dispatching opponents in unusual and spectacular ways, turning each battle into a show of stylized brutality. It's a first-person shooter that pushes you out of your comfort zone and challenges you to experiment with new ways of playing. The combat mechanics are where this game truly shines, using the environment to your advantage, combining abilities and weapons to create deadly combos. All of this makes the gameplay extremely dynamic and rewarding. It's not just about defeating enemies, but doing so with style. This system encourages you to be creative, to step out of the ordinary and find increasingly ingenious ways to complete your missions. The result is a game that stands out for its frenetic pace and the satisfaction of seeing your battle plans unfold perfectly. Beyond the innovative gameplay, the game also offers a narrative full of dark humor and charismatic characters. The story is full of twists and intense moments, but always with a touch of sarcasm and irreverence that keeps the tone light and fun. This is a game that will provide you with hours of enjoyment. In 18th place, we don't have a game but rather an honorable mention to PT, an experience that redefined horror in video games, despite being just a demo. It quickly became a cult phenomenon among fans of the genre. Set in an apparently endless corridor, each lap you take reveals new horrors, creating an atmosphere of constant and unpredictable tension. The genius of this game lies in its simplicity. With very few elements, it manages to terrify like no other. Even with just a few minutes of gameplay, it inspired massive franchises like the new Resident Evil games. It used the environment masterfully to create suspense. Every sound, shadow, and change in lighting was there to mess with your mind, making you doubt what's real and what's not. The repetition of the setting, with small alterations in each cycle, gradually increases the feeling of claustrophobia and despair. The lack of weapons or means of defense heightens the sense of vulnerability, putting the player in a position where fear is the only constant. The experience was so intense that many remember those few minutes as some of the scariest moments in video games. PT never became a full game, but it's a masterpiece of design, where less is more. The combination of atmosphere, sound, and minimalist gameplay created an experience so impactful that, even years after its release, it remains a reference in the genre. But now, tell me, which of these games caught your attention the most, and which ones have you played? Or is there another game that didn't make this list but gave you a unique gameplay experience? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know about your experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep discovering more about the fascinating world of games. That way, you won't miss any news and will always be in the loop on upcoming releases and hidden gems. A big hug and see you tomorrow.